Good morning and welcome to Daily Game Design. I'm still looking over the skeleton, the bones of ravens. We've tried a bunch of different stuff, and what you're seeing now is um, very different from where we started. There was an idea around engine building that that was interesting for a while, like very simple engine building where you kind of create, or over time, like in the story. Oh, here's a actually that's even too early. Wow, the very first idea here. So this is the story of the ravens feeding Elijah. And so we were thinking that this is with my friend Kristen. We're working on this. We haven't met for it for a while, but we did a bunch of the early design work together, and now it's just nice to have a look back and kind of see where we've come. So there was an idea of having the ravens start out here on this boundary, and then they kind of take steps in, and there would be these predators that are sort of rotating around, and the players would be moving in, picking up stuff off of these rings, these concentric circles, until they finally reach this inner circle, and then Elijah and they drop off their items. And so there might be something like a card that shows what Elijah needs this round, and maybe they get more difficult or something like that. And there would be a timer that was like tracked on this stream. So the round counter was something like that. The round, yeah, some I don't know. It had to do with timing. Very abstract and aiming for simple. So it definitely looks like something that might be simple. Then we started messing around with what about the ravens? How can the ravens get stronger? And so I had this idea of when a raven delivers, then what you do, well, you have a card that shows that the raven has some abilities. So when a raven delivers the food, what you would do is you would flip that raven and tuck it under your next raven so that you add actions around this card. And I was excited about that. I thought that was a really simple way of doing some engine building. And then opened up to a hex map. So you're actually moving around. You're going to different places that that have resources you need. There are markings on the map that show the path of this predator that's just cruising around. There are now obstacles, like you have to fly around trees if you're carrying something. You can never fly over mountains. You would start in the corner, fly somewhere with your raven, pick up something, and fly in there to deliver it to Elijah. And there was some interesting stuff there. Eventually, it became a kind of, oh, yep, cut it, simplified it. And then it became, oh, this is still the same, but still somewhat simplified. Okay, now we shifted to, instead of ravens being like cards that you would tuck and you would add actions and stuff, what you're doing instead is, this was kind of a push your luck bag builder. So the two players here are drawing tokens and moving, or they're drawing tokens and like getting closer to busting or ending the round. So they had a bag and they're drawing tokens, and it looked a little bit like Snake. They're defining a path through this hex grid. Well, when bag building came up, it felt like there could be something interesting there. And I don't remember exactly why, but then we started thinking about, what about a modular map? So with terrain tiles with different colors, and maybe those tiles, players would interact with them differently, and so that evolved quite a bit. Oh, we brought Zach in over here, And then the tiles, maybe they just carry the resources on them. So it became more of an exploring idea where you would just move off of one tile onto another, and then it would flip up, and now here you have stuff that you can pick up and carry to Elijah. Well, then we lean into the resource bags, where if you flip a tile, and it really had to do with how many spaces you could go to get stuff, and then depending on the terrain, you would draw from a particular bag. And in this case, you have 3 spaces to draw. On this tile, you would have 3 spaces to draw from the forest bag, 1 space to draw from the plains, and 5 to draw from the mountains. We also added towns, or we had towns for a while, because coming up with predators is a little bit tricky. But anyway, in town, you're likely to find bread. You're also likely to find people, and maybe what people do is they just scare you 1 space away before you can get anything. Okay, so that became this kind of modular map where a nest is in the middle. You start there, and then you're flipping tiles out, building this map, and then eventually you find the Isaiah tile. Might be even like the second tile, might be the last tile that flips up. But in the process, you found all of these places to potentially go get things. And so the game is about finding Elijah, but also finding this stuff, like going out and getting more stuff. So once you find Elijah, though, it's not obvious to me like why you would ever come back to the mountain. I don't know, or this mountain for sure, because you've got a mountain right there. But that wasn't the primary problem I noticed yesterday. The main issue that stood out to me was that there's all this empty space. Why is there so much empty space? Why do we need this? Why do ravens need to move really far? What does this add? What does this how much more complicated is it? How many more rules do we need to write? Because these tiles flip up, in which position can they go? Where can they be laid? So I started thinking more about what if we shrunk the tiles so that they can be fit more nicely together, rather than like leaving, depending on how the rule's written, it's very weird to try to write a rule about which edge you're allowed to go off of, right? That's let's say you're on this tile. Well, where can you step off? Do you have to step off the straight edge right here? And then do the tiles need to match up edge to edge like this? Maybe. It seems like it would make sense to me if that's how it worked. But then it left this white space, this blank area, this empty area, dead space. And you're just having to move around that. Whereas you could tightly fit the pieces together like over here, but what does that mean you have to do? You have to step off one of these 2 edges into this area. Well, a better one would be this one. So you go here or here, and you step off into this area. And then from there, then you place, you flip over a tile and place it kind of at an angle. But that just seemed weird. It seemed weird to have to write rules to be able to do that. So I made these smaller tiles yesterday, and I don't really hate this idea. Where did I put the? Oh, it was. Yeah, I don't absolutely hate this idea, but I also, when I was again kind of testing, just trying to move around and open up more of the map, it felt like, why do I have to think about the rules here? Why can't I just step onto another hex and draw some tokens? Maybe it should be that simple. So what I want to try today is just to make the tokens. I'm going to make these tokens, and then you draw some number Reading tons of rules is the best. It's great, especially for 8-year-olds. They love it. That's their favorite thing. So what I'm thinking to do is actually just make these single hexes. Yeah, how are you doing, Francisco? Yeah, so I probably still have this this nest. It could be smaller though. It could be this size. Actually, let me try that. I'm gonna try that because it's like it's I think up to a 4-player game, so we can just make this work. Because in this case, I'll just drop the nest right in the middle, and so players just start somewhere in there. And what I'm thinking is the hex that they place always has to touch 2 other hexes, because that would be a simple way to force the map to like remain contiguous, right? Or been fighting Canva for making a landscape video. You're making videos in Canva? I don't think I've ever tried to do that. No, I've definitely never tried to do that. I've made a few presentations, but never, yeah, never a video. Or I made like, yeah, like automatically scrolling or advancing presentations, which are nice, but yeah, not a video. You didn't use that for your crowd sale thing, did you, Canva? Okay, so now I have these tiles, and what I want to do is just I'm gonna put some number of these black circles, and so what this will mean is maybe outline it with white. So this is simply going to mean like draw that number of tokens. I had a really nice playtest with Anne yesterday. We looked at her game themed around the Book of Kells, and it's very neat. Like, it's really beautiful already. Her prototyping is pretty nuts. Hmm. Okay, and all this means is you draw that number. That wasn't bad until I started splitting the video to pan certain sections to the left or right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. Oh, wait, this isn't right. Yeah, because I still have the forest. So what happens in the town? If they're just drawing one token, this shouldn't be here. I still like the distribution. I think it was mostly, it was like 4-3-2. 4-3-2 of the plains. 4-3-2-2. Hmm. Yeah, especially if there's one bag for drawing these tiles, or sorry, these tokens. So, um, hmm. I don't remember at all what the different abilities we put into the bag were. Like, what do those mean? I guess I need to open up. Um, yeah, I need to open up TTS. What's the premise goal of Ravens? So, background is that we're designing a game. Me and my friend Kristen and also Zach designing a game based on the Ravens feeding Elijah, and so it was meant to be very simple, cooperative. Um, it's like hex movement or like map exploration and like bag building, kind of like pickup and delivery stuff. So they're meant to fly around the map. Here, I'll show you what I had for. Yeah, so initially it was something like this where the Ravens start here in the middle, and then what they do is they start revealing tiles and placing them and moving on to them, drawing tokens, and they're looking for the Elijah tile, and once they find it, then they can start working to like deliver stuff to him, and thinking that Elijah would have different like interests. Maybe he wants 3 meat and 1 bread this time. Maybe he wants two bread, 2 meat, something like that. And then anyway, so there'd be like an exploration phase, and then it would, once you find Elijah, then it would shift into the full on like pickup and delivery with bag building, like push your luck bag building. That's where it was. Um, I still like the push your luck bag building stuff. So what I was just coming over here for is to see what we put in the bags. Because we've got food, predators. So for example, if if you were to move on to the plains right here, of course it would be aligned appropriately. Yeah, so anyway, I guess how would I describe it very, very briefly though? It's a pick up and deliver bag builder where where players are ravens delivering food to Elijah. Okay, so like what you would do is you'd move on to this hex, draw a token from the plains bag, and that is a hawk, and so it would scare you away like 2 spaces to some other, to two empty spaces away, something like that. And if you pulled the bread, cool, you've got bread. Now you just need to find Elijah. You can only carry so much and that kind of thing. Um, the bag building part. Let me see what I've got in this bag. So the bag building is essentially huh. That's so sad. I don't remember what this means. Actually, no, there are 3. I don't know why I put a like an image of, maybe this is like days or something like that. So okay, so you draw tokens from here, and then there's a move token. Cool, I think, if it loads. There's a move token. So on your turn, you get to move, right? Maybe everybody gets to move. Not sure. This token is once 3 of them are drawn, then the whole round ends. But once 3 of these are drawn, then what was it? I had it in a previous version. Let me go back. This one. Oh, so I guess on your turn, this is what it was. On your turn, you can keep drawing as many tokens as you want until this makes no thematic sense. What's in here? Yeah, if you drew a black token, then it would sit here. If this filled up, then you would like bust. Maybe you would just drop all your stuff and your turn would end or something like that. I don't think you would like reset it to your original spot. I feel like that's way too unthematic. But draw a movement token, move your raven, draw a black token, and you're at risk of busting like that. And so what you could do though is you can add after delivery, you can add a token, you can add a new token to your bag to improve your bag. That was the idea. So I guess in theory you could take pretty long turns, which maybe is not great. Let me see what I have in here. Again. Yeah, okay, so there were 4 X's, so that would end the whole round for everybody. But these sunset tokens would end your turn. So no idea about how good this distribution is, but that was the idea. Yeah, so you're pulling tokens, you're finding these. Let me put these back actually. Whoa. The only thing I was really starting to fear is like this. There's way too much what? Oh, these stacked. Okay, I don't want them to stack. There was way too much going on for this to feel like the weight of the game we were hoping for. So what I'm thinking now is just to maybe don't need town at all. Maybe it's just they're exploring the woods, the wilderness. Oh, you know what could be cool is if you can choose to add tokens either to your bag or like the draw bag for like what you pick up at the different locations. I don't know, let's see. So I'm just gonna export these. So it kind of feels, I like this problem of like, oh, you ran into the mountains. Now it's kind of like in Flip 7, the Flip 3 card. You kind of get bombed with like a bunch of stuff. It could all be really good or it could all be really bad. So that's kind of neat, actually. Hmm. No, I don't know. I wonder if I wrote about predators. Like, what do the predators do? Foster locations. I know we had a Google Doc, actually. Maybe I'll go over there. Francisco, I can't remember if you've got a bunch of other games you're working on. I mean, I know that Juggernauts takes a lot of your attention, but like, what are some of the other things you're working on? Ravens. Schwarzenegger Ravens. Is that who was in the original Predator? I don't know. I missed a lot of those more intense like action movies. Okay, let's see what do the Predators do. What were the last things we talked about? If you pull a Predator, does it activate and then go back in the bag? What? Oh, yikes! You can pull it again. Hmm. Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Oh yeah, good. Okay, so they're action tokens. Just I didn't have any iconography for them. So movement, busting, end of round. Then tokens you could add could be an extra movement, so like a move two. Now that's a little bit odd because, especially if I shrink the map. Yeah, I kind of want to just make these really quick, just export them. But okay, so preview tokens, pull 3 and choose 1. That's really powerful. You can't just be adding a bunch of those. Clean up token. Oh, yeah, place a bad token back in the bag. Okay. But whose bag? Oh, so you're yeah, you are building your own bag. I can't forget that. You need to be building your own bag. Yeah, I'm still working on Retro Rewind podcast, which takes a good chunk of time, but game wise, just the JJ expansion. Oh yikes! Expansion of party game based on the podcast. Gotcha. Like a polyomino. In the JJ world. Some sort of ongoing solo RPG. You play a little each day. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I wondered how you get auto corrected for that. Because I think it'd be poly like that, right? Polyomino. Yeah. So domino somehow meaning two-sided, poly meaning many. Or I guess it'd be like two-ended domino. It'd be interesting to like. I don't know what the origin is for I wonder if it's a made-up word. A loose cloak. Yeah, I feel like it's just some kind of evolved made-up word. Dominus and then domino. Yeah, so if domino is kind of like meaning lord or master, you could kind of imagine how that could get pulled into the name of a game. But then to think of the objects themselves as dominoes, let's try this. One of the pieces, yeah. Oh, interesting. Wait, a hood with a cloak worn by canons or priests over vestments in cold weather. Perceived resemblance to the black tiles. Wait, perhaps in the earlier meaning of a hood. Yeah. Yeah, weird, right? How let me try I'm gonna try so the only ones I know of, so we got polyomino, tetromino. That's not an O. Oh wait. Tetromino. Okay. I don't know. Let me try versus, see if there's anything written on it. Versus domino. Let's see. One or more equal squares edge to edge. Pentominoes. Polycube. I like that. Seems important. Yeah, polyomino coined by Solomon. Golem, with roots in ancient puzzle, whereas modern dominoes originated in 18th century Italy and tetrominoes were popularized by Tetris. Tetris, okay. Yeah, but I guess to where I started was that dominoes. There's no, yeah, this was not a word with origins in another. I mean, there's nothing about dominoes that means two squares. Is my point, right? But then the word just got picked up, and you could kind of adjust the prefix to start caring about the number of things. That's kind of interesting for somebody. Okay, right on. We got sort of nowhere. Okay. So one question is whether or not, yeah, I think I like stuff like that too. I like word related issues. So, like, I wonder what is the last word you learned, and like, is that something you'd be aware of? I remember seeing recently. I remember seeing a word in Wordle that I'm pretty sure I'd never seen before. Now I can't think of what it was. Yeah. There are some very few cases where I can remember like what words I learned from like a specific book and stuff like that. It's been a while since I've really thought about that, but yeah, for some reason certain words have stood out to me as like attached to particular reading experiences. The only one coming to mind right now is susurration, and I'm pretty sure that one came from Dune. Because I used to enjoy reading with my dictionary sitting under my chair, and I would be reading, yeah, whatever. I was reading pretty heavy stuff when I was pretty young, I think, and I would just sit with my dictionary and enjoy reading through that too. Yeah, I don't know. Words have always been like an interesting attraction for me. It's not the same for everybody, but I feel like everybody has to care about language in some way. What were some of the series you remember reading that you got most attached to when you were young? For me, I would have read most of Encyclopedia Brown. I liked mysteries a lot. I read Chronicles of Narnia through a few times, probably 3 by high school. And I know I'm pretty sure I started The Hobbit. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I read most of Lord of the Rings in elementary school as well. And I can picture where I was when I was reading The Hobbit. It was on the bus on the way home when I was opening, like it was in the first chapter of The Hobbit. And and I remember reading and being so confused about these people living in holes in the ground, like very, very imperfect image of what was happening with the hobbits. The only one I can recall is now my favorite word, reliquary. Sure. Yeah, that's a nice one. I'm pretty sure I hadn't. I don't think I've seen that. Yeah, it's fun. Little specialized words like that are really cool. Yeah, like it's almost like single use words. Like you're not going to get a lot of traction. You're not going to get a lot of distance out of that word. But when you use it and you use it appropriately, there's a big wow factor. Another word I think of with some fun wow factor is like defenestration. I feel like there's some wow factor in that word coming out. Wouldn't use it very often. I've also liked lucubration for a very long time. Lucubration, I don't remember where I learned that word, but lucubration, I think it has a kind of archaic usage that I prefer, which is doing work by candlelight. And so it's kind of a night owl word, and I've generally connected with night owlism or ness or being a night owl. So I enjoy that image, work done by candlelight. And I think it's shifted a little bit. I mean, people don't use it a whole lot now, but it's I think it's more just like doing hard work or something like that. I forget, but for me, that's a nice one. Okay, let's see. Let me just make a couple of adjustments here. I think I don't know what these little town things should be. I kind of don't want a separate bag for stuff, so I'm thinking just to ignore this and then draw tokens here in these different areas, and just have one bag and really kind of tweak a certain distribution of tokens in there. I should probably also give, whoa, hadn't heard, yeah. I don't know, there's some good, just real random ones like that I think are really fun. They don't, yeah, it's, words just pop up, right? It's of course very, very hard for me just to like if I were to, to try list 10 words that I find interesting, I think that'd be impossible, but it's nice when a word circles back by itself. I want to add some icons here so that purple means something. So let's say let's go with that list. Where was it? So purple is like double raven, maybe. So let me grab. Weird. I don't see the raven symbol at all in here. Where'd that be? It's definitely not that. How did I do that? Yeah, what symbol am I currently using, if any? Okay, yeah, find that. I think that should be in here. Okay, I'll make this one the double movement. Just go like this. Okay, this one is draw 3, take 1. So let's just risk mitigation, I guess, because, well, actually no. Once you start building your bag, you're definitely going to want more. Wait. Yeah, because this is for me drawing from my bag. Ooh, what if there's another one for drawing from the other bag? But how would you write a rule for that? I guess the idea that I was having was you could improve you could improve your bag or the group bag. Or maybe like once around, the group tries to decide what they want to put in there. I think that'd be really scary quarterbacking territory. But it could be, yeah, because you could want to pull 3 and keep 1. No, I'll just keep it for your own bag. Let me. It's 3 circles. Oh, I thought it was just one bag for everyone, the wilderness bag. Yeah, so the thing is, the player is drawing tokens from their own bag to move around and do stuff. Whereas when they interact with the location, they're drawing tokens from the wilderness bag. I think. I mean, so yeah, so in those bags, that's where the bread, meat, etc. is. In my personal bag, that's what gives me movement for now, and then like some special abilities later. Yeah. Yeah, so it's like a bunch of exploration games. Like Clank Catacombs or Ahoy. You just step off here and then not like these exactly. I mean, these kind of work now. They work for now, but then this drops, or they intend to step off. They pull um a tile from the bag and then they step on. Yeah. So what I was thinking is to adjust. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna change the size of these things. So I kind of want it this way. Is there a way to, that looks kind of in the middle. By lining stuff up, how would I get a nice looking, because that wants to be 4, and then they would be a nice thing. 3 is down here somewhere, but I don't know exactly where. Is it in thirds if I were to split these into thirds and visualize it that way? Anyway, it doesn't matter a whole lot. I should say it doesn't matter at all, actually. Okay, so what I was going to do is put little X's, X, like little X's on the ones you don't keep. So you draw 3, keep 1. Anyway, this is more for me than for anybody else right now. Hmm. Yeah, that ability is 2, draw 3, keep 1. There should probably be a return. Rather than these X's, there should be like a little return symbol, but I'm not going to worry about that. The last one was what? Clean up. Oh, there needs to be a return for this one. Okay. I think, right? Well, let me grab a circle. Oh, it's a sunset symbol. That's what I need. Where did I make that? Like, I don't know where. Oh, it is in here. And then a bag. A pouch. Pouch. Yeah, those look slightly better, maybe. What's the music you guys normally sing at your church, Francisco? What are some of the main songs that circle back? Or what styles of music show up? What is happening? Okay. It was easy to try. You are closer, closer. Oh, okay. Black pouch. Yeah, cool. Communion. Yeah, so I'm organizing music for a young adult retreat happening on Kauai this weekend, and so I'm just kind of thinking through what we'll have for that. Yeah, communion's a nice one. There's a really nice one called Yield that we've done a couple of times. We actually did Yield for the kids for like a youth program up at the camp. We did Yield, and it went well. Like the kids actually picked it up. One of my friends made some like little hand motions, but but in general, I think the song was fairly sticky even without the hand motions. It's repetitive, so it's pretty easy to pick up. I don't love this bag. Can I change the color? Oh, I can. Just change it. Maybe this one I can make a dark gray. It looks like an egg. The old fried egg, sunny side up. Yeah, those feel like two very distinct and also helpful abilities, right? I think so. Maybe I will add this now. So instead of these X's. Because now I have a return. Now I have a return symbol. Wait, how did the weekend go? Was it this weekend you went to the the retreat this past weekend? Oh wow. 2 weekends ago. That doesn't seem right at all. Okay, that looks weird, but I mean practical. Okay. And my friend last night with our thoughts that need to. Okay, it was great. Learned a lot new to me games. Okay, how many playtests did you get in? Demos, I should say. Okay, half a game, full game, and intro game. So 1.75. So what happened with the half a game? There's people running out of time. Did you say, hey, let's play half a game, try to get a sample? This really looks like a Friday. That's crazy. Well, I do have this now, so maybe... I think I need to reuse it then. Run out of time, they had committed to D&D, yeah. Right on. Yeah, it's tough. Timing is very, very tough. We had a guy come for games last Monday, and he just never got into a game because the timing was off. Nice. What's the name of that con? Oh, I still need an Elijah tile. That's the only thing missing right now. Newberg. Nice. Expected attendance? You know what? I can blow up these hexes. They don't have to be this small. But to get them the right size could be tricky, I guess. Let's check their height. Let's go 7. Let's do 6 inches. Oops. Whoa. Okay, I can also increase the size here now. Let's try 4. Nice. Well over 100. Yeah, we hope to get there with the retreat. We can't handle 100 at a time, but with day visitors and stuff like that, we could definitely get up. We could definitely get up to, you know, if we're at 60 a day, and like if 50 of those were all weekend people, oh, that'd be amazing. And if we just had like 20 day visitors, it's like 70 to 80, I feel, and we would max out in our in the gaming space. Of course, it depends on what games people are playing. Yeah, that's better. So I can just have the town tiles be like the dead tiles, actually. That seems weird, but I don't know. Maybe who cares? Oh, what happened? What? Why are these so much bigger? What changed? What is happening? Why is that? Because he's still small. Oh, who cares? Figure that out. I'm not sure this blue, where did I see it again? This blue is maybe not a great choice. Is there an orange? There's no orange. Let's do orange. Okay. All right, I think that's it. Let me rearrange things so it's a little easier to export. Yeah, I think double movement would feel good. I think all of these would actually feel pretty good to draw, depending on the timing, right? That's key. It's the timing. Okay, so 31 to 38. Oh, I wonder if I put those tokens. I wonder if the issue is that. No, these are all. Yeah, they'll be the same. Okay, I'm going to download these and then I think I'll call it here. I feel good about thinking some stuff through, at least thinking a few things through. I like having developed some helpful little icons that will replace these blank tokens. Okay, now what happens if I just replace one of those? Okay, so I'll send this away. Yeah, so I'll build the mod here and then I'll wrap up. Elijah is a 1 of 1. You know what's a kind of odd thing is I don't know why, like it's oriented in Canva a certain way, but when it jumps, like when you drop it into TTS, I don't understand the orientation. Like, why is it? I exported it as I see it in Canva, but then the default seems to be this other orientation, and I'm just curious about why. I like a good fried egg. You know what I've been making a lot of? I've been making a fried rice just with egg and rice, a little soy sauce, and chili oil, and then a rice topping that my friend got me from Japan. It's amazing. So good, so simple. And then I've also been making more curry, like a bunch of yellow curry. I got a tub of curry paste and coconut cream. Ridiculously good. Just get a big bag of frozen veggies from Costco. Cashews have been really good. My parents had a big bag of cashews while they were here. And wow, it's so good. I have like a block of the fried tofu. It's killer. Then I was going to do these tokens too. It'd be awesome if these replaced. Maybe there is only one of them anyway. I don't think there were any in the bag. Be the right size. Heck yeah. Okay, then let's do the orange one. We did the first batch when my parents were here. The first batch of yellow curry we did with coconut milk. That was also good. It's looser because the coconut milk has less fat. I mean, it's obvious it's not cream, so there's just less creaminess, thickness, whatever. Look at this. Look at this fried egg right here. Oh yeah. Those turned out fine. Those look pretty good. I mean, except for the fried egg. But it's the current icon for getting knocked out of the round. So there's that. That's fine. And I need to resize all these. Do they stack? No. Oh, these are technically different, like uploads. They're different items, so they would not stack anyway, I guess. Okay. Try to get the size right here. Oh shoot! You know, I forgot to I wanted to make the starting. I'm gonna go do this. I want this to be the starting one. Are you playing many games these days? You said you played a bunch of new to me games at the retreat. Man, I've been managing to play a fair amount of new games these days. I was watching a what was it, Pam Walls video? I think it's Pam Walls. But she designed Blob Party. I think the reason I heard about her would have been because of Jamie Stegmaier liking Blob Party. And so I think every now and then one of her videos gets suggested to me. So she was talking about how she was hoping that one of the ideas in her games was like unique, and then she watched a video about Resist, I think it was, and realized, you know, that's just like they use that same idea. Um, Whatever it was. And that's, I mean, that, that's going to happen a lot, right? Because nobody can play all the games out there, but it's just wild how important it seems to me to play as much stuff as possible. It's just crazy valuable. I know not everybody has the time for it. I'm single, no family, not taking classes or anything. I mean, I work, but I have a lot of time to essentially treat game design as a part-time job. Oh shoot, forgot about that. So when I go play games, I actually go with the intention of like playing something new, like getting exposed to a new idea, a new system. Yeah, I think watching videos at some point, I think watching videos and doing research that way is totally fine. Bring chance niche down to pixel art. Okay. Yeah, your pixel art is impressive, so I think that would be pretty cool. I doubt I would ever have the patience for it, but it's still a cool idea. It's still a cool idea. Very fun style. Like, is my table slanted? I don't get it. Okay, so this would sit here in the middle of the play area. And there's no reason not to just like blow this up a little bit, right? Are they going to grow at the same pace? No, they did not. Perfect. Okay, so I was just gonna double the icon type so they're from what they originally were, except for that guy. So there were two pink ones. Well, let's see actually. Let's see if this feels like enough map. Good, okay. This one was okay. Okay, so let's build the map, just lay everything out. So the rule is you need to place so that two things are touching. Why would you could come out this way. I guess if it's just like a two-player game, they might just want to go in the same direction. Right? Also, I feel like there needs to be an incentive to push all these tiles out. Like, there's not much room here. Okay, so quacks. Yes. Quacks. Love it. Okay, Azul. Haven't played Discworld. Played a lot of the crew. I've played Magical Athlete now a couple times. Oh no, once. But I've been around it. People have been playing it around me a lot. The Expeditions. That's the Stonemaier game. The new to me ones, and then played. Wait, was Fritz there? That'd be crazy. Did I play his game? I never got through a full game. I think the card layout and iconography was so rough. No. I backed Prestige. Oh, yeah. I think the cards they felt very illegible to me, very impractical, and I got kind of stuck there. I remember actually kind of redesigning the card layout and sending it to um to Jack because I was just like, whoa, there is something going on here. Wait, you never got sewers? Did you ever tell Jack? Oh, I'll tell Jack. Um, let's see. Because that fulfilled when? That was didn't that fulfill last August or something? I just messaged him. Whoa, really? Okay, yeah, because I think they did the campaign in the summer of that year. Yeah, he still is. I mean, at least he says he is, and the main thing is he's working on his own game still. Um, um, Tribulation. It is super long time ago. So here's the question. Imagine keeping the game this small. Like, that could be kind of weird, right? So what if I added one of everything? Or at least one of these. The towns, I feel like something should be going on with the towns. But I don't know what yet. And I kind of wish that there was a way to force certain ways to arrange these. I mean, the tiles would be regular, like, maybe as big as, like, Catan tiles. Right? Pretty big, spacious tiles. I mean, the size could pretty much be anything, right? Yeah, so the idea would be that you've just got your Raven. I guess you could also, like Catan, you could also just have a few shapes. Oh, they're one-sided. I mean, so you see both things. There's no back. Yeah, there's no back. So like you could, just say, like the shape would have to be something like this, and just put everything face down, right? And so when you explore, then you just flip over. But I think where I keep imagining like this is just not like this is pre-broken. This is broken before we even try it because if you pull a mountain, let's say you pull a mountain and then you also pull Isaiah, why not just do this? Like if this is the situation, then you're just gonna go Isaiah, mountain, draw a bunch of stuff, get what you need. Isaiah, right? Like there's no reason to go to these unless they all had unique, maybe they all have unique stuff. Some of that Cascadia where I think there are limits to a task. Cascadia where I think there are limits to what tiles can be next to others. Yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah, there are placement rules. The thing about Cascadia, though, is that you add the tiles wherever you want. Right? You can just, anywhere around your map, you can place them, so. Maybe in this game you could do the same thing. No, you kind of need to, because you're represented on the map and you're moving around, so you need to be able to place it where you want to move into, right? What you could force is that you could only I don't know what you could force. Yeah, Jack's really cool about that stuff. I'm sure if he figures out what happened, he'll just make it work. All right. Okay, so still very clearly dealing with an incentives problem here. Like there's no reason Right, because it needs to be as simple as, it needs to be like this. It needs to be something like this. So these would be in a bag. Let me just make a bag. It's for reasons like this, I hate physical prototyping at this point. That's not true. But if I... Yeah, 1 second. Let me... Oh, whoa! That's not what I meant to do. So, Francisco, you're a raven, and you have left your nest. You're on your nest right now. You're leaving your nest, and when you go to step off your nest, then you draw a tile. Why are those not going in there? Yep. Okay. So here's Scott and Francisco. Francisco, you know what he could do? He could place it anywhere. Let's say you're here and you draw a tile. Bagapalooza, that was wild. Let's say you could place it, let's say you place it right there. And then you step onto it, and you draw a token from a bag. Uh-oh, you pulled a hawk, so you get, I don't know, scared away. There is a possibility. I forget how many hawks are in here, but I think it's a lot. Oh, no, there's only... Were those supposed to be hawks? Or are they blank? You pulled the only hawk. I'm so sorry. So your raven dies. No, I don't think it's quite like that. But it could be kind of like that. Like you just have to go back to the nest. Yeah. So you pull a hawk. I think you probably go back to the nest. That'd be so sad. But it'd be very unusual. It just happens you got unlucky. Well, let's just say you, yeah, let's say you pulled something else. Okay, you got bread, you add it to your inventory. Maybe just your little play area. Okay, it's my turn. I'm stepping off. Let's say we build the same direction. So I'm just gonna go there. Don't know what happens on the town yet. Oh yeah, you got scared away. So you're back on the nest, so you draw. Well, yeah, because you don't have to move. Let's say you move over here again. What happens? You draw? I think you draw. So you get a blank. I don't know why those blanks are in there. Hang on. Maybe I wrote that down. It's here. Okay, so composition of the bags. Planes. 2 blank. Oh, just nothing happens. So those are supposed to be in there. Yeah, nothing happens. Right, because you're just like flying around the grassland. You can't always have the excitement you might want, Francisco. Oh, you know what we're not doing though is we should be drawing a token here. Okay, so you draw a token, and unfortunately this actually I need to make a second bag. So one is red and one is blue. Let's use this blue. Okay, so just bring me, oops. Let's just bring these over here. Oh, is this locked? No? Okay, so you've got, no, let's just start over. There could be separate bags still. I don't like having a million components, but It could be separate bags still. Okay, so we're starting the nest. I don't like that these are taking so long to load, actually. I don't know why that is the case. Okay, so you fly over here, you draw from this bag. Okay, you get your bread in your inventory. My turn. I pull a token. And uh-oh. So if there are if four of these come out, then the round ends. That's sad to just like lose a turn like that, but I'm not thinking very creatively right now. So you move and you move off. Let's say you move off this direction, going down, so. Okay, let's have you move on to it and draw 2 from the forest. How much can you carry in your inventory? Maybe just one thing? So you really, yeah, I don't know about this. Because this is really about exploring, and there's nothing interesting going on while exploring because you're just going to be drawing tons and tons of tokens without being able to do anything with them until you find Elijah's. Okay, so this is already not working, but that's cool. I'm just going to save it. Save it as it is right now. Okay, and Francisco's going to change everything in a good way right now. Everything's going to get better. Yeah, so I think that's possible. Like I think there's still maybe some kind of like Raven improvement ability. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is knock down the number of spaces the players need to move and also reduce the number of rules that need to be written. So I think what's tricky here is you're probably you're heading in the direction of the kind of game that I think would be more interesting. It doesn't mean none of what you're saying could work or apply. But we cut back from a lot more movement and a kind of engine building idea of having ravens with different abilities, and this one can carry more, this one can travel further, and maybe you kind of pick and choose as you go, like where you want to improve. And I think that's great. I think that could be really interesting. It sounds maybe similar to what you're thinking about, maybe not the same. But what I'm trying to do is just cut way back, because this is the hard lesson learned with my Pathfinder game, is that game is way too much. I think it's way too much for people to teach, number one, and then for non-gamers to understand. So that's why I'm really trying to practice like crazy restraint when it comes to what's going on in this game. Just whoa back there. Pull it on back. Whoa, Bessie. That's kind of the mode I'm in. It's still fun to brainstorm like what could be fun and cool. Maybe there's expansions, maybe there's another game that's like a next level kind of game. But that's the big challenge, is how to make something really, really simple but also interesting. And already I can see that this is not interesting. It's very simple, but not interesting. You just have a pool of tokens, you get 5, and you spend them to move, hold, deliver. Interesting. Some kind of action token thing. Yeah, so are you moving away from bags? Is that what you're thinking? I feel like just the players moving around is not really a problem right now. What is a problem is what they do when they to interact with a location. How does that work? What are they doing? Are they drawing tokens from a bag related to that location, or just a general bag and it's really just about the number of things you draw? Or should they not be drawing anything? Should something be printed here instead of just like a random, you draw something? Maybe you know there's bread over there or something like that. But I do think if there are 3 types of terrain, they need to be motivated to go to those 3 types. But another main issue is that there is no reason to continue exploring once you've pulled all the things that you could explore. Like all of the types of things. So literally what I just did, I pulled the 4 types. So there's no reason to continue pulling, except that we still are looking for Elijah. But let's just say Elijah, we find him on the next one, right? So, oh, cool, the 5th tile. Look, it's Elijah. Now what? Now there's absolutely no reason to keep pulling. And then unless you just make an arbitrary rule, you can't deliver unless you pull all these tiles. And there's no great reason for that other than that this design is poor design. How about there's a type and it has a number on the tile, let's say 3, so it has a stack of 3 bread. You mean when you flip it over, it becomes a little resource pile? Yeah, okay, so you can like deplete it. Yeah, okay. Let me write. I think that is a practical idea. There could be like there could also be place that many of that resource on the tile. When that resource is gone, it's not replaced. Yeah, cool. So you just kind of drain an area. I think that sounds good. And I'm also thinking that that's like it's like the game Survive where you flip a tile, something happens first. Like if you flip it and maybe that's where the hawk is, and then you cover the hawk with the Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, I like that. When it's gone, instead draw a token from the bag. I like that too because the bag can have like more predators and stuff. So it's just so you could actually start wanting to like avoid, right? You would like have different paths that you might go. Yeah, that's a really great idea. Because you will probably be a little risk averse at least. Because you might have the stuff, you might have your bread and 1 token of bread, 1 token of meat, and if you fly over this like unknown area or this empty area, then you might draw a hawk and have to lose your stuff. So you would start avoiding empty areas unless super necessary, unless you're like rushed at the end of a round or something like that. I think that's great. That's great, Francisco. Thanks for that idea. So actually, this is still relevant then. Oh, they could just be supply tokens, right? And then maybe the top one, you flip the top one and it's a hawk and you get scared away. So like maybe it's not a known thing. Maybe it's still I feel like being known would actually feel better probably. Like 3 bread, 2 meat, 1 bread. So you know where to go to get what you want. I don't know where the predators are coming from in that case then. It's like once you reveal a tile, then you don't have to worry about the predators or something. Or I mean once everything is drained, then of course you go back to the bag and maybe you'll pull a predator. Anyway, that's cool. It's crazy. Just one idea, Francisco, and you may have revolutionized the game. So it said draw a token from the bag. Are these tokens face known? Yeah, it shows a certain a number of a certain type of resource. Let me place it back. Or should they be random, unknown, and include predators? Yeah, cool. So, yeah, because some of the tiles could say draw 3 tokens from the bag. Right. Yeah, how do you add a mech to I don't know, what would this be, 1200 BC or something like that? Totally made up that number. I don't know, let me check. Was the biblical Isaiah, not Isaiah, Elijah, live? Way sooner than that. I'm pretty sure I was thinking Isaiah, but oh, 9th century BC. I wasn't that far off, just 300 years. Right? Amazing. Okay, well, I've got a fair amount of work to get to today, I think. I'll probably rest a little bit more. Didn't sleep very much last night. But I appreciate hanging out with you. Appreciate nice. Appreciate the help, insight. And what did you say? You're going to the con this weekend? This next one? Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoy that. Make some good connections. It's all about connections. Well, you got almost a full week to prepare, so. All right. Well, Francisco, good stuff. Thanks so much. That's it for me. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.